Hello everyone. Today, welcome back. I welcome you all to the CNA analysis of today. So let's begin. So the first article being the RBI raises rate. Okay. So we can see that in the very first category of the news today, we can see that RBI is slowly rising the rates to control the inflation that we are facing as of today. So we can see that the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee has increased the policy repo rate by around 5.4%, and which directly has an upper tolerance level of 6%. Okay. So recently we have seen that it has increased from 4.40% to the 5.4%, as we have seen that in the recent past, the Monetary Policy Committee, which is a statutory and institutionalized frameworks under the Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934, it tries to maintain price stability while keeping in mind the objective of growth. Okay, so the MPC determines the policy interest rates, that is the repo rate, okay, that is required to achieve the inflation target. Okay, so when I say about the repo rate, we can see that the repo rate is the rate at which the central bank of a country, that is the Reserve Bank of India in case of India, that lends money to the commercial banks in the event of any shortfall of funds. Okay, and here we can see that the central bank purchases the security from the respective commercialized or any form of bank that we have in our respective country. So in associated with repo rate, we can see there are various other particular terms, be it the SDF, that is the standing deposit facility. Then we have the MSF, that is the marginal standing facility. Then we have the bank rates. Then we have the CRR. Okay. Then we have the SLR. Okay. So we have some of the terms which the RPI or the Monetary Policy Committee directly makes into notice. Okay. So now if I have to see that why RBI is slowly and slowly increasing its repo rate, its CRR, or its various other values. So we can see that the decision has been taken in view of the global scenario wherein there has been a sharp rise in inflation due to current geopolitical tensions. We have seen that inflation has risen to its highest level in the last 3 to 4 decades in major economies, be it India, be it China, okay, be it countries like USA, be it countries of the European Union. So inflation has risen to its highest level in the last 3 to 4 decades. And with the global crude oil prices remaining volatile and above US dollar per barrel, the inflation rates are slowly and slowly emerging, or it's directly achieving a disturbing phenomena in the whole country perspective. Today, the RBI directly raises its particular rate because we can see that the elevated inflation amid the global turbulence is with the wake of the Ukraine war. So now the RBI aim to keep inflation, which is already close to 7%, as it is desired level and control and monitor money flow into the banking system. So hence we can see that the spike is directly to control the inflation that we have today. We have the inflation today around 7%. So this we have seen that the RBI retain its inflation growth. Okay, and thereby directly having by the end of the fiscal year, by the ending of the March 2023 at 6.7 and 7.2% respectively. So therefore, you can see that the MPCs or the Monetary Policy Committee is directly at a very good hold so as to make our country very much susceptible towards the ever-growing inflation that the whole world is facing today. So this is a particular current in news in transition, because obviously we can see that until and unless the Russia-Ukraine war directly stops, we cannot have a respective stable economy throughout the whole world because of the volatile nature of market because of this war that is being produced. Okay, so this is a particular news that is in current editorials today. So moving forward with the next news, that is the lynching case. So SC asked Center to follow up on its lynching rules. So we can see that when I say about lynching, okay, generally we directly categorize it as mob lynchings. Okay, so mob lynchings kya hota hai? It is a term that is used to describe the acts of a targeted violence by a large group of people. And the violence is very much tantamount to offenses against human body or property that may be both public as well as private. And the mob believes that they are punishing the victim for doing something wrong, and that not necessarily that is illegal. And they take the law in their own hands to punish the purported accused without following any rules of law. So why this particular lynching activities is on the rise. What are the main causes of this mob lynchings? We can see the first things being intolerance. Intolerance पहले category में और intolerance क्या? People are intolerant in accepting the acts of law and thereby going on to punish the alleged person, assuming the act to be immoral. Obviously, the second cause is being biases. Bias भी बहुत होते हैं लोग. तो bias किसके basis पे होते हैं? Generally, we can see the biasness on the basis of class, caste, race, sex, religion. ये सब के लिए hate crimes बढ़ता है और जब hate crimes बढ़ता है तो लोगों के प्रति हम लोग के मन में we can see we generate some of the ill feelings. And when these ill feelings directly takes the advantage of prejudices amongst various castes, so such number of violence directly occurs and which ultimately leads to lynchings. Okay, then the third reasons may be the lack of speedy justice. Okay, the lack of speedy justice. We can see that the justice delayed is justice denied. So when inefficient working of the justice rendering authorities is very much inappropriate, the people take the law into their own hands, having no fear of the respective consequences. Okay. Also, we can see the less ratio of the police as well as the public, for which the inefficiency of the police administration is at the highest, and thereby for maintaining the harmony between the people as well as the police personnel, these hate crimes with respective to such department is rising and rising in a very fast way. So therefore center ने अभी बोला है कि like आप लोग जितने भी cases है lynchings के, okay, that is directly or courts, because we do not have particularly a law which is purely assigned to such number of mob lynching activities. और हम लोग का जितने भी मॉब लिंचिंग का एक्टिविटीज का केसेस होता है, हम लोग फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में 2 ट्रायल लेते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हम लोग को स्पीडी जस्टिस नहीं मिलता है. कंपेंसेशन टू द विक्टिम्स हम लोग को नहीं मिलता है. So therefore, the state central government has even asked the states to appoint some of the nodal officers in each districts, but everything is directly in some of the loopholes. तो सेंटर ने अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्टली सेंटर को ओबे कर रहे कि आप लोग लाइक इसका जो प्रोसेस है इसको स्पीड अप कीजिए. बिकॉज अभी ये केस क्यों सामने आया था? बिकॉज अ प्ली टू स्टॉप अटैक्स ऑन द क्रिश्चियंस डायरेक्टली केम इनटू प्रोमिनेंस एंड वन ऑफ द क्लरिक्स डायरेक्टली वेंट ऑन टू द रेस्पेक्टिव कोर्ट for the redressal or for the safety of the respective minority community, because we know that Christianity or the Christian following people are considered amongst the minorities in this respective country. So ये थोड़ा एक particular news है which can see because of the things that is happening in and around today. So today we can see there are various number of types of mob lynching. अगर मैं types में जाऊं तो types में क्या क्या होता है? एक होता है communal based, एक होता है witchcraft, एक होता है honor killing. Then we can see the bovine related mob lynching. Okay, that means this cow vigilantism and all. Okay, then we can see the suspicion of child lifting, जो हम लोग का recent काबी आंगलों वाला इंसिडेंट था, वो suspicion of the child lifting में 2 लोग को मार दिया गया था. ठीक है. Then we have got some of the theft cases. Okay, moral policing होता है वहां पे. तो all these things are directly seen in this respective context. Okay, तो इसके लिए हम लोग को एक particular preventive measures लेना पड़ेगा. स्पेशल टास्क फोर्स एक असाइन करना पड़ेगा. डेजिग्नेटेड फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट्स हम लोग को असाइन करने पड़ेगा. ठीक है. देन आल्सो सम ऑफ द कंपेंसेशन स्कीम्स शुड बी नीडेड टू स्पीड अप सो एज टू मेक such number of lynchings, such number of less lynchings in our respective society. ठीक है. So lynchings are totally an abominations that must have no place in a democratic society like India. Okay, and lynchings are a uniquely unsettling element of governance. जहां पे ये सब लिंचिंग ज्यादा होता है वहां पे वी कैन सी द derailment of governance. So therefore the mob violence itself is a sign of failure of law enforcement, and hence there should be some of the stricter provisions so that we could directly have a proper menace or to directly have a proper panacea for this type of menace that is directly making rises in the society. ये एक particular news है because of the lynching activities that is directly happening on the Christians, and a bishop or a particular cleric directly went to the court for the redressal of the respective community members. तो ये एक particular news था about lynchings. Coming to the next one, that is the ration beneficiaries in suspect. Okay, now see, when I say about the ration, okay, जो हम लोग को चावल मिलता है, सपोजिटली जो बीपीएल लोगों को चावल मिलता है, देन बीपीएल लोगों को बहुत सारे केरोसिन मिलता है, ठीक है। देन वी कैन सी दे आर डायरेक्टली एनफोर्स्ड विद वेरियस नंबर ऑफ शुगर, दे आर एनफोर्स्ड विद वेरियस नंबर ऑफ आटा, ये सब मिलता है जो। तो वी कैन सी दैट वी इन आवर कंट्री हैव गॉट सम अराउंड 70 लाख बेनिफिशियरीज अंडर द नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट ऑफ 2013। लेकिन we can see that out of this particular number of people, out of this particular number of beneficiaries, only 50 to 60% are we can see are not genuine in nature. तो मान लो कहीं 30 या 40% लोग ही जेन्युइन लोग हैं जिसको असली में they are very much informed of such number of beneficiaries provided by government. So therefore यहाँ पे ये सब बोला गया है कि ये जितने भी प्रोसेसेस है and ये सब process of to identifying some of the people who are actually should not hold such number of ration cards, they should be they should directly been brought into some of the cognizance, and जो चाहिए जिसको ये ऑफर चाहिए, जिसको ये बेनिफिशियरी चाहिए, उनको हम लोग को ये सब एनएफएसए के अंदर डालना चाहिए. So therefore, there is a particular concept of one nation, one ration card system, okay, which will be rolled out in all the states and union territories, which was planned to be rolled out in 2021, but we haven't seen such number of things as of today. अभी ये धीरे धीरे चलता आ रहा है, ठीक है, because we are a very large country, it is very much difficult to directly implement such number of things in a very single year or a single day. So the integrated management of the public distribution system portal also provides the technological platform for this interstate portability of the ration cards. So इसीलिए हम लोग आज we are working very much on such number of projects so that they could be easily been available to the people who are actually the beneficiaries of such number of ration packets. Okay, तो ये एक respective news था with respective to the beneficiaries of the benefits that is directly given by the government, okay, to the people who directly want such number of benefits because of their economical conditions. Okay, तो ये एक न्यूज था. नेक्स्ट न्यूज, एमटीपी एक्ट. ओके, दैट इज एससी मूड्स वर्डिक्ट फॉर बॉडीली ऑटोनॉमी अंडर एमटीपी एक्ट. तो जब हम लोग एमटीपी के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, ओके, वी कैन सी दैट the medical termination of pregnancy act of 1975, that is known as the mtp act, it was passed due to the progress made in the field of medical science with respect to safer abortions, and in an historical move to provide universal access of reproductive health services, India amended the mtp act of 1971 to further empowering women by providing comprehensive abortion care to all. अगर हम लोग अभी का एमटीपी एक्ट के बारे में सोचे, द रूल प्रोहिबिट्स द अनमैरिड वुमेन हु आर बिटवीन 20 to 24 एज ऑफ इयर्स वीक्स प्रेग्नेंट टू अबॉर्ट विद द हेल्प ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर्स, एंड फॉर द एक्ट इट इज अप्लाइड ओनली टू मैरिड वुमेन. सो ऑब्वियसली जो हम लोग का अनमैरिड प्रेगनेंसीज होते हैं तो उनको थोड़ा बहुत दिक्कत होता है थ्रू दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्ट इफ दे आर डायरेक्टली अचीविंग द वीक्स अराउंड 20 to 24. So the new medical termination of pregnancy act of 2021 expands the access to safe and legal abortion services on the therapeutic, eugenic, humanitarian, and social grounds to ensure universal access to comprehensive care. Okay, so the MTP Act, which was of 1971, it was only applied to married women. But after the very amendment made in 2021, the unmarried women are also covered under this respective act. Okay. Also, the MTP Act of 1971 was for 20 weeks for all indicators, and here in this 2021 amendment, we can see that 24 weeks for rape survivors and beyond 24 weeks for substantial fetal abnormalities. Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग को देखा जाता है कि like this particular MTP, which aims to improve the maternal health scenario by preventing large number of unsafe abortions and consequent high incidence of maternal mortality rate and morbidity, इसको डायरेक्टली बोला गया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा कि लाइक वी शुड डायरेक्टली स्टेप अप द ओल्ड प्रैक्टिस ऑफ नॉट गिविंग सम ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरीज एंड सम ऑफ द स्टैंडर्ड एंड सेफ एबॉर्शंस. तो अभी इसको स्पीड अप करने के लिए यहाँ पे बोला गया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा. ओके, हियर द वेरी बेसिक थिंग दैट यू शुड बी वेरी मच कंसंट्रेटिंग इज थ्रू द एमटीपी एक्ट. और ये एमटीपी एक्ट जो हम लोग का 2021 में हम लोग का अमेंड किया गया था, तो उसका क्या की प्रोविजंस है. ओके, व्हाट आर द रेस्पेक्टिव ऑप्शंस, व्हाट आर द रेस्पेक्टिव जेस्टेशन लिमिट जो मैंने बोला था, दैट इज 20 to 24, जो सर्वाइवर्स ऑफ द रेप विक्टिम्स, ये सब थोड़ा बहुत था. देन अबाउट द कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, that is the name and other particulars of a woman whose pregnancy has been terminated shall not be revealed, except to a person authorized in any law that is currently in force. So therefore, we can see that this particular new law, how much this law is very much associated with this SDG. अगर मैं SDG, that is the Sustainable Development Goal के बारे में बोलूं, तो ये 3.1, अगर मैं 3.1 के बारे में बोलूं, तो it's something like it pertains to reducing the maternal mortality. Whereas you can see about the SDG of 3.7 and 5.6, it pertains to universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights. And here, the amendment will directly increase the ambit and access of women to some of the safe abortion services. Okay, so इसी particular some of the basic फंडे के लिए we can see that this particular MTP Act is currently in news. Okay, so you can see that in the recent times or in the future times, you can see it is very much commendable for a central government to has taken such a bold stand while balancing the diverse culture, traditions, and schools of thoughts that our country maintains today. Okay. However, this particular amendment still leaves women with various conditionalities, which in many cases become an impediment in access to safe abortion. Okay. So therefore, this particular things is directly associated with the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1971, which was recently amended in 2021, and its respective categories of acts. Okay. So this was the respective discussion. Coming to the next one about tea gardens. When I see about the tea gardens, okay, or you can see about the tea production, we can see that the tea is one of the most popular and lowest cost beverages in the world and consumed by a large number of people, even by the Asian nations or even by the people of the world. Owing to its particular increasing demand, tea is considered to be one of the most major components of the world beverage market. Even it goes above coffee. So Indian tea is amongst the finest in the world owing to its strong geographical and like heavy investment in some of the tea processing units, some of the augmented products, and of course because of the higher and good climatic conditions. When I go with the climatic conditions, we can see that Assam or this very region has got a tropical and subtropical climate. It has got some of the deep and fertile well-drained soil, which is very much rich in humus and organic matter. And warm and moist air, we can see that it is very free climate throughout the year. Obviously, we can see that rainfall is around 1500 millimeter and the temperature ranges between 15 degrees Celsius. So the main three growing areas today are the northeast, including Assam, North Bengal, Darjeeling districts, and the Duars region. Okay. Also, tea can be found largely grown on the areas of Nilgiris in the South India. And India being because of all such number of producers, because we all know that Assam has got a 50% production of tea in India. So India is one of the world's largest consumers of tea with about 3/4 of the country's total produce consumed locally. Just imagine the conditions. Okay. So now यहाँ पे क्या गया है? Because we can see if you move to Upper Assam, if you move to some of the South Assam area, you can see that tea gardens are in plenty. तो अभी क्या किया गया है? Through a respective like amendability of the Sealing of the Land Holding Act of 1956, तो यहाँ पे जो नॉन प्रोडक्टिव लैंड है ऑफ द टी गार्डन्स उसको डायरेक्टली टूरिज्म पर्पस के लिए, सम ऑफ द कैश क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन के लिए, ग्रीन पावर जनरेशन के लिए, फूड प्रोसेसिंग के लिए यूज करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने परमिशन दे दिया. Okay, provided tea plantation is not possible in land allowed to be retained by the tea gardens and lying as fallow and unutilized is a very bad thing. तो जो एक उपजाऊ जमीन है हम लोग का, उसको ऐसे ही हम लोग को बेकार नहीं फेंक के रखना चाहिए. तो here I am directly telling about, or here the government is directly on a plan कि यहाँ पे टूरिज्म बढ़ाओ, यहाँ पे कैश क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन का चीज बढ़ाओ, यहाँ पे ग्रीन पावर जनरेशन का चीज बढ़ाओ, यहाँ पे फूड प्रोसेसिंग बढ़ाओ. तो all these things we have to make so that this particular tea gardens can have a certain other income towards this non-productive lands. तो आज अगर मैं यहाँ पे बात बोलूं, we can see various good number of bungalows in some of the tea gardens. तो ये क्या है? ये नॉन प्रोडक्टिव लैंड में होता थोड़ी ना डायरेक्टली जहां पे टी प्लांटेशन होता है वहां पे ही डायरेक्टली एक बंगलो मिलता है, नहीं मिलता है. तो ऑब्वियसली सम ऑफ द एरियाज वेयर दिस इज टोटली अ नॉन प्रोडक्टिव लैंड वेयर देयर कैन नॉट ग्रो एनी फॉर्म ऑफ टी और वेयर द टी प्लांट्स कैन नॉट बी ग्रोन, वहां पे जाके हम लोग बंगलो बनाते हैं, वहां पे हम लोग को लाइक टूरिज्म साइट्स बना सकते हैं, हम लोग वहां पे हम लोग थोड़ा बहुत कैश क्रॉप कल्टीवेशन कर सकते हैं, जस्ट लाइक वी कैन सी अबाउट कॉटन, जूट, ये सब कर सकते हैं. ग्रीन पावर जनरेशन सपोजली वहां पे हम लोग एक सोलर पावर प्लांट बना सकते हैं, फूड प्रोसेसिंग कर सकते हैं. तो ऑल दिस थिंग्स कैन बी डन और इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट ने ये चीज को एमेंड किया था. ठीक है. तो दिस इज द पर्टिकुलर न्यूज दैट वाज पर्टिकुलरली वेरी मच डिस्कस्ड इन द असम ट्रिब्यून ऑफ टुडे. ओके, कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट वन, that is addressing the challenges in the new age of digital commerce. Okay, When I say about the new age of digital commerce, okay, यहाँ पे क्या बोला गया है कि like the novel coronavirus pandemic has further accelerated the process of digital inclusion. Okay, कोरोना वायरस से पहले हम लोग को बहुत कम ही पता था अबाउट द डिजिटल वे और द डिजिटल एक्सेस. ओके, डिजिटली हम लोग बहुत कम इस्तेमाल करते थे. डिजिटली लाइक वी हैव गॉट अ वेरी लेस रिच, बट द नोवल कोरोना वायरस पेंडेमिक हैज फर्दर एक्सेलरेटेड द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिजिटल इंक्लूजन. The rise in smartphone, the rise in all such number of laptops uses and all tablet uses has fueled by affordable data plans, has catalyzed an online revolution in our country. For instance, if I see, the revolution has not only increased the routine to transact online, but also learning online, having medical consultations online, and evolve, even resolving disputes online. Suppose we can see the high courts directly performing their judgments through online medium. Okay, हम लोग YouTube में बहुत देखते रहते हैं. Okay, so what are the current challenges that we can face in this particular small enterprises in digital inclusion? See, to sell on numerous platforms, seller must maintain a separate infrastructure. अगर मेरे को एक चीज सेल करना है ऑनलाइन तो मेरे को एक पर्टिकुलर साइट इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा. मेरे को अगर मोबाइल में कुछ करना है तो मेरे को एक स्मार्टफोन से मेरे को एक ऐप बिल्डअप करना पड़ेगा. ओके, मेरा एक डेडिकेटेड चीज होगा. ऑफन वहां पे थोड़ा हैकिंग का थोड़ा मेरा खतरा रहता है. तो एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी नीड टू बी कंसर्न, एंड दिस डायरेक्टली एड्स टू द कॉस्ट एंड लिमिट्स ऑफ पार्टिसिपेशन इन द ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म. फिर आता है डिस्टिंक्ट टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऑफ ईच प्लेटफॉर्म्स लिमिट्स द सेलर्स फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. सेलर का जितना फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होता है वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस रहता है इन द ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म. ओके, ऑनलाइन कभी कभी वो भी होता है कि लाइक सेलर्स आर वेरी मच हेजिटेटेड टू इवन टेक सम ऑफ द पेमेंट्स ऑनलाइन. ओके, क्योंकि वहां पे थोड़ा बहुत इशू रहता है. कभी कभी क्या होता है, some of the payments are shown to be paid, but sometimes the payments are not being done, and this is directly a great loss to the respective seller. Also, the centralizing digital commerce transactions on a single platform creates a single point of failure. यहाँ पे फेलियर का बहुत चांसेस होता है. ओके, अगर तुम यहाँ पे, बिकॉज इट्स अ पर्टिकुलर न्यू फील्ड, अगर तुम यहाँ पे एक्सेस नहीं कर पाते हो, then obviously it directly indicates a failure of his particular capital that he has invested in his respective enterprise. Okay, so therefore we can see that there should be much needed to directly improve such number of platform, and this can be done through various number of mediations, conciliation, and arbitration of some of the specific participants, and giving proper training in this new digital age of commerce. Also, we can see that the consumers are provided with another choice for effective redressal of their grievances. अगर मैं एक कुछ चीज सेल कर रहा हूं और अगर मैं कंज्यूमर को उसका असली हक और उसका जो असली जो उसका राइट है अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर आइटम दैट ही हैव परचेज फ्रॉम मी, अगर मैं उसका एक पर्टिकुलर ग्रीवांस रिड्रेसल ना करूं, अगर उसका कॉन्फिडेंस में ना जीतू और लॉयल्टी के हिसाब से मैं अगर ना करूं, then obviously my product will be totally in failure, my particular system will totally be in failure. और गवर्नमेंट को भी थ्रू वेरियस नंबर ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म्स, be it the National Payments Corporation of India, be it through other applications including the SEBI crores, okay, then RBI CMS, that is the complaint management system, MSME Samadhan. Through all these particular sectors, government can directly have a particular redressal of the respective customers who are directly buying or selling some of the items from these respective sites. Okay, also a particular dedicated process of having such number of sites in this respective age of digital commerce is very much necessary. तो अगर हम लोग ये चैलेंज अगर हम लोग एक पर्टिकुलर प्लेटफॉर्म के हिसाब से लेके आगे, ओके, वी कैन हैव अ ग्रेटर एक्सेस टू दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स ऑफ न्यू डिजिटल एज ऑफ कॉमर्स व्हिच इज थ्रू वेरियस नंबर ऑफ डिजिटल प्रोडक्ट्स. ओके, और हमको इसको अगर हम लोग को और आगे लेके जाना है, देन वी हैव टू इवन प्रोवाइड सम ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी of this respective sellers even from the various number of threats that they are getting from online media, such as some number of digital fraud that has been done, some number of hackings, some number of malware that is sent through such number of digital media. तो ये सब को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए we can see that the new age of commerce, of the new age of digital commerce और उसका various associated challenges को हम लोग through a particular mediation हम लोग को totally solve करना पड़ेगा. Okay, so this is all things about the respective things. Okay, यहाँ पे ONDC के बारे में भी बोला गया है, ओपन नेटवर्क फॉर डिजिटल कॉमर्स. ओके, जहाँ पे हम लोग का अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ चॉइस, नो लॉक इन, यूनिफाइड एक्सपीरियंस ऑन यूज ऑफ यूज, ट्रस्ट, सेलर ट्रांसपेरेंसी, यहाँ पे सब होगा. Okay, through this particular comments or through this particular product platform, we can see that India's even e-commerce is set to reach some around $200 billion by 2027. And इसका क्या होता है? This need to democratization of nation's online market will catalyze millions of small business owners. ओके और इसके लिए भी हम लोग ने ऑनलाइन डिस्प्यूट रिजोल्यूशन मैकेनिज्म खोल के रखा है. ओके जैसे मैंने अभी भी बोला है अबाउट द आरबीआई सीएमएस कंप्लेंट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम. ओके एमएसएमई समाधान. ओके सेबी क्रोर्स कंप्लेंट रिडरेस सिस्टम सेबी. ओके सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज बोर्ड ऑफ इंडिया सो complaint redress system. So all these things are very much important for even the ONDC to directly perform through all these particular activities. Okay, so this was particularly the inclusivity, interoperability, discoverability, and the scale of such number of uses of the respective online medium through which we can directly gain some of the processes associated with this particular platform. Okay, so this was all about the today's newspaper analysis. We have all these respective questions that you can see, number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you can attempt this in the comment section below, and obviously you can attempt the last questions, that is for the mains perspective. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you all of you. We'll meet again on Monday with the analysis of the various newspapers in the CNA daily newspaper analysis. So thank you and Jai Hind.